Well, everyone, we finally made it to Friday. Thank God it's Friday. And I'm sure the rest of y'all will be happy because I will be putting down all of the economic news. So we will be done for that this week. Today will be the last video of the week where we focus solely on economic news. And I couldn't be happier for it because it's quite depressing looking at these economic numbers. I don't know about you, but every time I see these numbers, I just think, wow, we could all fix this if we weren't so stupid. But then again, we are quite stupid. Therefore, we are in this situation that we are in. Today, I've got a clip. It's going to help put things into perspective for everybody. Like the whole thing of Biden's like, the economy ain't so bad. Well, guess what? Let's take a look at the consumer price index, shall we?
That's the cost of living crisis. Suddenly we went up from prices being around there to prices being there. And you don't really see that in this data, okay? Because inflation is really just measuring the difference between that and that. And if you look at those two lines, you're talking about a 2.3% change. That's the number we're talking about today. But for a lot of people, it's not about that. It's about the difference between this and that. And when you look at the difference between this and that's 20%. And I think that's the dichotomy here between these inflation numbers where it looks normal and this, which is really not normal at all.
Yeah, and I think he just hit the nail on the head right there because Joe Biden is over there comparing those top two lines that are right next to each other at the tippy tip of the graph. Like, oh yeah, see, inflation isn't that bad. It's barely increased like 1 or 2%. What are you complaining for? But it's like, nobody's comparing inflation now compared to how it was like, I don't know, 6 months ago. That's not what we're concerned about. What we're concerned about is, look, look at the graph. Joe Biden. Joe Biden caused it all. I mean, it's really obvious when you look at the graph because when you look at January of 2021, you can see that is exactly where this out of control inflation and this consumer price index is just absolutely spiked like a freaking rocket ship going towards the moon. And yeah, that's why people are upset, Joe Biden, about inflation and the consumer price index is because we're not comparing things from yesterday to today. We're comparing things from the beginning of Joe Biden's presidency to today. I mean, and not only that, like, look at the rest of the graph. Like, it's got a pretty steady, increase it's got right there. It's pretty, stable, you could say. It's got a very predictable increase up until January of 2021. And then all of a sudden, it turns into a hockey stick graph and just goes off the frickin' rails. Yeah, just to put that into perspective for everybody, the consumer price index has increased more in the past 4 years than it has increased in the past, almost 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? I don't know. Too much for me to count. I don't care. It needs to come back down. There's no reason for everything to be this expensive. Somebody really needs to put a stop to this bullshit. President Trump, hurry up and get elected. We're counting on you. But hey, that's just the depressing news for today, guys. If you got depressed by this news, make sure that you leave a like on this video so that I know that you're as depressed as I am. Subscribe to this channel and we'll be the depressed gang together. Whoop, whoop. Represent depressed gang. And yeah, don't forget to follow me on Rumble as well because fuck YouTube.